everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of Life Currency. Sorry this video is a little late. I did not get my normal scheduled day off this week, just since I was just getting back from vacation. So I'm shooting this one after work. Typically I'll have Wednesdays off, so I should be able to get these videos done on my day off. But today I wanted to talk about bringing your work home with you. And what that does to your psyche, what that does to the relationships, especially the people that you live with, you spend time with on a daily basis. So it's really tough, especially for those of you that are really good at your job, you like your job, or it's something that you're really passionate about. I find that that's a big issue with me. I love the car business. I love being around cars, specialty cars. I love talking with people, talking with customers, and I love the challenging goals that are in front of me that I set for myself or that my company sets for me. So it's really tough. It's really tough not to think about work or not to think about what you could be doing to get to that next level. There's obviously a time and a place for that. You want to be motivated. You want to excel. You want to go get that bonus or hit that next sales tier level, whatever it is for whatever you do. But at the same time, you can't let it affect you in ways where you can't enjoy just daily things in life. It's been a big problem for me in the past couple of years, when I'm away from work to be able to disconnect for a little bit or unplug, if you will, and just enjoy the little things. On my cruise here this past week, I found it very surreal. You almost don't believe it. I'm in these beautiful, places in the Caribbean, and my mind's on cars and selling cars and what the dealership's doing. And those are the times, the few times a year really when I have those vacations and I'm with my family that I really wish I didn't have that complex. I wish I was able to disconnect and not think about those things. There's a few tips and tricks that I've learned from my psychiatrist that I go to try and help with that. You have to give yourself a little bit of slack. More times than not, we're our biggest critics. We're really hard on ourselves, and sometimes we need to cut ourselves a little bit of slack. And we have to think about that sometimes. That's something that we forget because we're trying so hard to get to that next level. Because we're working so hard, we're really, really hard on ourselves, and we don't have to be. Give yourself a pat on the back every once in a while. Stop and smell the roses, as they'd say, but pause for a moment, look around and see where you're at, see where you've come from, see all that you've accomplished. There's successes in your life every single day. There's little wins every single day. And sometimes we fail to see those, or we don't look at those as closely as we look at our mistakes sometimes. So it's tough. And when you are constantly thinking about work and constantly thinking about that next thing or your hobby or your activity, it's hard to see those things, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So a couple of things, I always, especially in the business that I'm in, and I'm sure you guys experience it with where you're at, is sometimes you're pressured to work all the way through the day and not take your lunch. You have to have some time for yourself to reflect, to give yourself a mental break and breather to get back to what you're doing. I highly, highly, highly recommend to everybody, make sure you set some time in your day to do that, whether it be your lunch break, your 30-minute break at work, whatever you get. But you need that time for your brain to kind of reset. and you need that personal space, that personal time for you to reflect and do whatever you need to do. That's one of the biggest things that can get you feeling mentally healthier on a daily basis when you're at work, is not letting work consume you so much where you're basically doing work 24/7. Even during the work days, with the hours before work, the hours after work, and even your lunch hour, those should be dedicated to you, your family, and your relationships, and nobody else. So make sure you separate. I find it at times that I find myself in the lunchroom at work, and then people are still coming in asking me questions, asking me about work. Get out of there. Get away from there if you can. Even if you have to go into your car and play some music and eat your lunch in your car, that is your time, and make sure you take that. You will feel so much better on a daily basis. And sometimes that little breather, that little look at things, things that have transpired through that day, may give you a different outlook, may change your attitude on things. I know there's been times when I've been working where something makes me really mad or upset, and I take a step back, I take a walk around the dealership, or I go outside and I think about things, and I'll let things slide, or my outlook on things will change, my opinion will change, and it really makes a big difference. So take your time in the mornings, during the workday, and at night. Make sure you take your time to do something for you or the relationships around you. Taking your work home with you after work especially is something that really has impacted me, especially in the past couple of years. I find myself, having a long day, coming home and being grumpy or irritable or in a bad mood. Even if I had a successful day at work, doesn't necessarily mean that I had a successful day overall. The people that suffer from you bringing your work home with you are the people that you care about the most. In my case, my wife, my family, my brother, my sister, my dad, my mom, my stepmom. Those are the people that suffer the most, and it's not fair to them. Those people are always your biggest support system. They should be your biggest support system. If it's not one of those people, it's somebody else that's close to you in your life: aunt, uncle, grandma, cousin, grandpa, guardian. It's those people that suffer the most, and it's not fair to them. Most of the time they're trying to comfort me, or they're trying to comfort you and ask you about your day, and you kind of snap on them or go off on them, and there's nothing that they really did to upset you, but you're just tired and stressed from a long day, and you're still thinking about the next day, or you're still thinking about work. On your ride home from work, turn on some music, put your phone on airplane mode or whatever. Have a ritual after you get off of work to kind of wash the work off of you. I know this isn't a good example because I'm literally wearing my suit right now, but do something on the way home, whether it be physically or mentally, that kind of washes the work off of you, so you can kind of reset your thought process. Be excited about, even if it's a small amount of time, before you have to go to bed and wake up and do it all again the next day. Be excited about that time that you have, and maybe even plan something. Even if it's little, if it pertains to cooking dinner, grab your spouse and say, hey, we're going to cook dinner together. Or we're going to get the laundry knocked out tonight, and we're going to, fold all the clothes on our bed, or whatever it is. But try to disconnect your mind from work for a little bit, and it'll do a lot for you. It's something that I battle with every day. I'm still in a battle with it, but it can really affect things. Really, really affect things. And I don't want anyone else to have to go through that. Maybe you see this video, or maybe you're struggling with that right now, and you decide to try some of these things, but just small little adjustments and things like that you can do will work wonders for you as far as how you are mentally. Past couple years have been really tough for me mentally, you know, going through this, working really hard. I've been able to achieve a lot of things. And I look back at it and, you know, I'm extremely lucky or blessed to have everything that I do, or everything that I have. It's all come through hard work. But sometimes you can't even enjoy those things. Sometimes I'll be sitting in my house and sitting in my car and I'm so stressed about finances, bills, other things, that I can't even enjoy the things that I've worked hard for. And not just those things, but even your relationships. Sometimes you can't enjoy your relationships because you worked so hard or you're still thinking about work. Disconnect and realize what you've achieved, where you've come from, and where you're at, and live in the moment. When you're on that vacation and you're in the Caribbean, be thinking about that moment then and there, because those moments are so very few and far between. You have to enjoy yourself and enjoy life. I want to make these pretty short videos, so that's really all I'm going to talk about today, is just bringing your work home with you. If you have comments, questions, concerns, please leave them. I want to interact with you guys. I know I don't have a big following now, I'm just getting started, but I want to just talk about daily life experiences. I'm going to try and take more and more footage on my camera of just daily stuff that I'm doing on a daily basis, maybe short videos. I've been thinking about starting a TikTok as well. I appreciate the love and support from everybody, the positive vibes all around. Hopefully this video, other videos, and people will see that we live in an age where we're instantly accessible. I think that we are in an age that a lot of people don't know how to deal with. And there's a lot of new things that are happening to us as young and old people in the workforce that previously weren't issues or seen as issues. So it's important to think about it, to talk about it, and to come up with ways to help make things more enjoyable, more palatable for us. So I appreciate it, again, everybody watching. I hope everyone has a great rest of their week, and I'll have something ready for you guys on Sunday. And just remember, don't resist change, embrace it, be open to new relationships and ideas, and remember, the one thing that money can't buy is life currency.